Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the shop. I know I haven't made a video for a while. The usual story. I've been a little bit busier than I'd like to be. But anyways, I said I'd cover a little bit of some of the machining projects I do instead of just Nerf stuff all the time. So here it is, giving a little overview of my latest machining project. It's nothing to do with Nerf, so if that's all you're here for, I get it. But anyways, I see a lot of people making their own quick change tool post holders online, and I usually see people making the dovetail kind, which is by far the easiest. Looking back on the decision to buy one of these, I probably should have bought a dovetail one, knowing that I wanted to make my own. But this was the first kind of quick change tool post I ever used. It's what I learned on in college. So it was just really comfortable and familiar to me, and I was shopping online. It stuck out. I didn't really know what size to get, AXA, BXA, CXA, whatever, for my lathe. My lathe's kind of a funny style lathe. But this one I saw on a very similar sized lathe, like it was in the picture on the eBay listing. It was on a Myford lathe, and this is actually from England. It's not an import. So anyways, I was comfortable buying this, and it's just a Dixon, or a Dixon style. I don't know if this is actually a Dixon, but it's from England, so it's not like an import. It's made in England. It said right on the box. And I made a handle for it to go on my lathe. But anyways, it's the like T-slot style. T-slot with the two angles, and that's actually just a 90-degree angle. So if you're thinking about making your own, it's really not hard at all. It's a regular T-slot. That's easy. You just buy the cutter, and then a 45-degree angle block will get this angle and this feature, and then again 45-degree angle block. You do that, and that gets you your entire block here. And I've made quite a few. So these are the factory ones. They're all nicely surface ground. They're really good quality. They're all from England, but I think they're like almost $50 or $60 a piece, and I really couldn't afford that. My tool post originally, I think it came with two or three of them. Yeah, it came with two and then a parting blade holder, and I never bothered to make my own parting blade holder because this one's good enough for me. So that's what it came with. Like, geez, I could really use some more. So then I bought a 2-pack for I think $100. So that leaves me with that, and then I'm just going like, I can't keep spending money on this stuff. But then I found this unique one. I've never seen this before. It's like extended. I bought that as well. So it's like, okay, geez, that's quite a bit of money. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna make my own. The T-slot cutter I already had, and the angle block, the 45-degree angle block, is found in like any angle block set. So I had that too. But it was a little bit intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. The way I set it up was, this was one long bar, like as long as all the blocks together. So it was about maybe a foot-long bar, and I cut the T-slot in like when the bar was together, and I brought all the sides to size together as well. And then my vise can only hold an 8-inch bar, so I cut it in 2 long sections and then one just like floating that I'd have to do by myself or by itself. And then you bring the whole bar on an angle, do all this features, bring all the all of them that way again, and do all the features when it's in a bar, and then you just put it on the bandsaw and chop it up. So I have a few different stages of being finished. Here's I don't know if I bought that one. Yeah, I bought that one. That one's surface ground. So here's some ones that I made. Here's one with a tool in it, or they all have a tool. So I wanted to be able to hold these import carbide tool holders, or carbide insert holders, and the commercially available ones, they don't come in a large size. So I wanted a larger opening. I believe this is like almost 20 mil or 16 mil shank holders. So I just cut a step out of the back so it sits low enough, and then that allowed me the large gap. And they're actually they're quite a bit of work, but it's well worth it. I didn't get a chance to surface grind them because I don't have a surface grinder at home, and we don't have one at work anymore, unfortunately. So these are actually just fly cut, but the finish is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, and as far as accuracy goes, they fit fine. They don't chatter. I'm happy with it. So I won't be surface grinding these. These are going to stay fly cut forever. Anyways, here's another one. This is the first one I ever did, and this is before I had the step idea. So actually the bottom is pretty thin because you have to cut out quite a bit here for these tools to sit low enough on my lathe anyways. But you know, it still does work. I do like the step idea better. So these are the two that I milled afterwards, and they have the step cut out on the bottom, and that's a much better way of doing it. But they are quite a bit of work. You got 5 drilled and tapped holes, these things to make, and this is a little bit fiddly. You know, you got to get out the knurling tool. You don't have to, but you know, make it look like the factory. It's nice. But if you have this kind, like, really don't be afraid to make them. It was a lot of fun. It was a good project. So here's one almost done. I just have to figure out what kind of tool I want in it, and then do all the you know, tapped holes. I haven't cut the reliefs yet. And then this one, I have a slot milled, and then I'm actually just setting up to do the slitting saw operation there. I don't know if you can see the relief groove in either side. So maybe if I can set the camera up, I'll show you the slitting operation. We'll do some cutting, and then that'll probably be it. I'll show you one sitting on the lathe. The fit up's pretty good. They lock nicely. Like, I was kind of worried that since it's not a surface ground part, they might chatter a little bit, but I think, you know, with this size of lathe, it's really not a big deal because they're not under a lot of load. So like the fit up is good enough. And both of these on mine, I broke them. So these are shop made. It's just some 4140 that's been torch hardened and tempered. And I don't know if it was necessary to torch harden it and temper it. But these I've had in there almost 2 years, and I broke the factory one. I broke within a month, so they've held up quite a bit. Or maybe I'm just a little bit more responsible now. So yeah, anyways, I'll try and set you guys up, and we'll do the slitting saw operation on one block. Alright, so here's my setup. I just got a normal vise, and it's just a cheapo import, which I actually really like. Precision Matthews, by the way. It's been my favorite vise so far. I've had a Vertex, and it was about on par with my Vertex. Leaps and bounds better than the KBC house brand, but anyways, not important. And then I just have a little cheapo vise stop, and that's just, you know, the KBC special, whatever, cheap one, and I just butt it up against there. I'll snug it up a bit more, like when I don't have the camera in my hand. And then, yep, that's it. And the depth set, everything's set, and I just run the slitting saw through. And that's a homemade arbor. It's just some 4140 with just a normal, like, jeweler's saw, slitting saw, whatever, on the bottom. And it's just an R8, call it, nothing special. So I'll set you up, and then we'll rip this cut. So since we've never done this together before, I don't know how loud this is going to be, so just saying. Lots of cutting oil. I don't know if it helps, but I always use lots of cutting oil. And I'm a little bit nervous of, like, I made these so long ago, I don't remember how close they were, like, in tolerance. Like, yeah, I made them all together in one bar, but, you know, then I had to square them up after cutting them. And, you know, I did some finish passes, so I don't want to just rip the same cut in between blocks. The top and bottom cut I can obviously do the same, but I don't want to do the same cut in between blocks just in case. It's a very fragile slitting saw. But I don't know, what do you think? Maybe 20 thou will go? See how it goes? A little more oil. This just sounds pretty good. It always makes me nervous coming back on these things because it's still cutting a bit because there's some flex in the arbor, and you're prime milling with a big slitting saw that's really thin. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I have faith in my arbor. It's not running out too bad. It is a little bit. You can't help it with these things, but it's pretty good. I guess we'll go for another. How does that look? Looks okay. Maybe we'll go another 20. And then that'll be it for the relief cut. using Rapid Tap. It's pretty good, but they put cinnamon in it for whatever reason, and it just, I don't know, kind of bugs my nose. So yeah, let's see how that turned out. Don't mind my hands. So I think that turned out okay. Decent sized relief. And this is a hell of a lot easier than drilling tiny little holes in the block before you do the 45 or before you do the 90-degree cut. However you want to look at it. It's in a 45-degree angle block, but it is a 90-degree, angle. It's not as strong, but again, like there's very little force, I think, in these blocks, and the square corners are really not going to bother anything. But now that I have you up close, look at that surface finish. That's just with a carbide fly cutter, and the surface finishes that can be achieved with a carbide fly cutter are I think some of the best on a manual machine. But anyways, guys, don't be intimidated to make this kind of block. I know I was, but it's well worth it. It's so much cheaper, and it's a really fun project, and it doesn't require a lot of tooling. So anyways, kind of a long video, first look into my machining projects here, but if you like it, let me know, and maybe I'll do some more. I certainly spend most of my time doing this kind of thing now, just because, I don't know, I just enjoy it. Anyways guys, take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.